How you doing? How you feeling?
Pretty good, doing good in the city.
That's what's up, man. You back out here, man. That's what's up, man. So really, just getting started. I really just want to get into your background exactly and where you're from.
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I'm pretty much into everything. I'm from Waco, Texas.
Waco.
Yeah.
Okay. So what brings you to Houston? Or what
Man.
brought you to Houston?
Man, PV.
Yeah.
PV brought me to Houston, and going to college at Prairie View A&M University is what really led me here. And it took the right individuals, the right circle of people to really be in the city, because PV is about 25, 30 minutes. And of course you can get into your groups of who you with, but IndustreetsTV has really put me in a mix of where I want to be at.
It's pretty much opened up more doors for you, more opportunities. Huh?
Facts.
No, definitely. So with PV, what did you go there for?
I went to PV to study communications.
Okay, and is that what you got your degree in?
Yes, I got my BA, just got my BA, 6 months postgraduate.
Oh yeah, well, that's what's up. Congratulations.
Appreciate you.
So have you thought about grad school?
Ooh, have I not? Have I not? So yes,
No.
I have thought of grad school way too much actually, and I had a conversation with one of my professors, so shout out to PV who got the realest professors because they keep it a buck with you, like they gonna be honest with you. And yes, I've thought about going to get my master's, but hell, I ain't know what I wanted it in.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, I may want it in journalism, I may want it in marketing, but what I had to realize with myself was I'm already doing my own leg work. Well, I put myself in a bind knowing that I know the ropes of school when I got leg work that I do in the streets in real life.
Exactly, yeah, you already getting to it, you already working. Facts. So, as far as just school, because you say you're from Waco, so have you ever thought about Baylor, or what made you decide I want to look that way, or is it just because it's a big university?
Well, no, I never considered Baylor at all. So I always felt like I was somebody who outgrew my city early on.
So
like
you trying to get out, you trying to get away.
Yeah, so
Got you.
growing up, Waco wasn't where it was at for me. Like nobody wanted to like collaborate, network. I mean, you ask somebody where they got their hair done, they wouldn't tell you. Or like the city was just so shiesty at the time. It was. The city was shiesty, and I knew I needed to get somewhere where I could be around some like-minded folks who want to shake hands and rub shoulders on a business-minded level. So. So from Waco, I went to Arlington, stayed with my godmama, and then after that, I came to PV, and then Houston is where the shaking hands part.
Correct, yeah. Because Houston, that's where everybody pretty much link up at, even if you at PV.
Facts. So it's like you got so many different people in this region that want to work with each other, that's down to work, that want to put some creative mind stuff together, and it works out here. And so in Waco at the time growing up, it wasn't like that. Now the city just now getting like that to where you got Waco Tron, you got Hot Boy West who signed by Gucci, you got female shout out to female hip hop, shout out to Waco Tron, shout out to Hot Boy West. Yeah, shout out to everybody who really doing their thing in the city now, because at one point in time wasn't nobody on that. And so now it's just not getting to it. So you got people who out here signed now, people who got businesses flourishing. Shout out to Callie Kamara, because she was the first to change the city in real life. Like,
no, definitely. I mean, big shout out to them too as well. And it's funny that you brought that up, because Houston always have a lot of backlash with support, and everybody think Houston don't support each other, or Houston needs to be more like Atlanta. So what's your take on that exactly?
So Houston is a unique city alone. Like, yes, a city, but Houston really on some state type of place for me. And I say that because Atlanta, you got the buzz there, you can network and shake hands there. You got all these other places, LA, where you can do very much the same. You have all these different places, but Houston, to me personally, Houston is a place where people come looking for their support locally, globally. They come ready to work with people. So people out here just ready to work. And I feel like the difference from Houston and these other cities is the hospitality start here in Texas alone. People respect that.
The South, yes, you got a lot of hospitality. I agree with that. And really, I want to bring up just the business side of things. You know, you're an entrepreneur. You dabble into a lot of different things here. So, just growing up, were your parents, you know, business minded as well?
Well, no, actually, no. I'm the first to do a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. My mama, she held it down, took care of us. She worked with old people. She took care of us. My daddy pretty much hands on me and working with cars. But I'm the first to like start my own business, Zayangelita Styles. I'm the first to be. I'm really one of the most talkative people out of all my mama kids, and that's probably why I get to get in the rooms I be in, shake hands with these people, because I feel like I'm the only one like me.
Outspoken. Extrovert more so, huh?
Yeah, I be having my introvert days though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, kind of back and forth. Nah, definitely. And also, big shout out to your clothing brand. You know, so what made you start that?
So shout out to you for thinking I got a clothing brand, because I don't.
Okay, so got a clothing brand.
So what I got on right now, this is Blase Co. Check on your strong friends. So shout out to him.
Oh yeah, big shout out.
Shout out to him. But no, I don't have my own clothing brand. Well, I'm lying hard in the paint. So Zayangelita Styles is a wardrobe styling company. It's a wardrobe styling company, but this right here is one of my campaign tees that I really didn't push because it was part of a movement for me. It was a campaign. So this was the first brand. This was the first piece of cloth material that I made for myself.
Okay, gotcha.
Now with Zayangelita Styles, I have put clothes on people's backs. I have I went to showrooms. I went to work with businesses, collaborated. I done been people's creative direction on their brand, and I brought in Fruition their brand, and say I pick out a color or pick out some print, some vinyl, however you want that to go, I can execute that. And that's what I've been doing lately. So this brand, making people's brand come to life. So this right here is the very first. And I don't pretty much tell anybody because I'm still in the works of figuring out what kind of brand I want to have in merchandise format.
I got you. So as far as then styling, you actually show people. No, I wouldn't say show people, but you kind of help them or style them at different events, correct?
So when it comes to styling, there's many aspects that I tap into. So one, I got the styling where somebody may contact me and they want me to find them some clothes for a specific event. Example, I styled by Breezy, and shout out to her because she was one of the first people who looked at me and was like, "Oh, you a stylist? Oh, yeah. Okay, I got an event coming up. I need you to put me in some." So I got the aspect of where I'm styling people for a specific event, birthday, whatever the case may be. And then I have it to where a lot of music artists, their representation, their image is not really aligning with their music or who they would like to be. So they see somebody like me and they want me to work with them. So it's kind of hand in hand. It may be that aspect of it. It may be closet clean out and organization. It may be just like how I mentioned, somebody coming to me with their brand, hey, what can you do to make this better?
Okay, or kind of make their brand pop. So you pretty much, I would say artistic, and creative in a sense.
That's where my creativity lies, in talking and in fashion.
So how long exactly have you been styling, or you had your, styling business?
Man. So I've been styling officially since February of 2021, I would say. Okay. Well, I would say with revenue. Okay. February of 2021. Beforehand, it was my kinfolk, my godmama.
Something you was doing on the side?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But it was officially when February 2021, around the time of all the COVID era. In that same time frame was when really the money started coming to me, the deposits started coming, people started inquiring about me hey, I need you for this, can you do this, can I send you a deposit for this? And now before that time frame, it was just I'm doing this because I'm passionate about it, I'm doing it because I really want to do it, I'm doing it and I'm still passionate about it, but it was at a point where I wasn't making any money. And then one day it's a light switch cut on and the money was there, the invoices was sent out. People seeing how serious I was with what I had going on. So long as the invoices was ready or the contracts was ready, that's when it really took off for me.
Definitely. I mean, and like I say, honestly, if you stay consistent with anything, people will catch on and they'll see that your work is getting better over time, so they can always tap in with you.
Facts, and that's kind of what happened, because I was at a point to where it's like, really, I don't know what I'm doing. I know I'm good at this, I know I'm good at that, and then one day the ball just was rolling.
For sure. So, as far as the fashion industry, is that something that you've been into, since a little girl, or?
Ooh, you got some good questions. Yes. So, my mama got 4 kids. Out of all my mama 4 kids, getting up in the morning, I was the child that was up. I was the little black girl who wanted fresh sets of hair, fresh
so
bows.
I was on it.
Yeah, I was on it. So, my mother told me at 3 years old that I was somebody I was one of her kids who would change clothes. Like, she'll pick out something for me. I didn't want to wear it.
You like, nah, I want to wear this instead. Okay, so you had your own mind made up,
So at a very young age, I was already knowing what I wanted to put on, how I wanted to wear my hair. I knew, and I started playing with clothes. Like, I started being a trendsetter at school. When we had dress code, I would find ways to break the rules within dress code on something. Yeah,
like you still, kind of pretty much have your own style, but still stay fly with it.
Facts, yes.
And really, I'm glad that you mentioned that as well, because that's showing how you outspoken and what you've been outspoken. I would say that's how you got into being a publicist, or really getting into the TV personality. More talking.
Yes, I would say in a way. So when it comes to me, like talking to people and getting into the lane of interviewing people and such. I was just always talkative. I always inquired. I always asked questions. And for a long time, I was up under the old people, like old folks. I was with my elders asking them questions, and then they was like, you need to go hang with people your own age.
Yeah.
And so I asked them a lot of questions and try to, gain some wisdom, just sit back.
Honestly, I was going to say, it seemed like that actually helps you, in the long run, because you got all this wisdom from the older generation. You kind of just soaked it up.
Yeah, and that's what I did. So talking so much, it led me to a path where it paid my bills, and it's still growing on me. Like, this my first interview, so shout out to you. This is my first interview where I'm actually in a chair. So what you do is what I do.
Exactly. But it's backwards, or today for you, because like you say, you're in a different position. So back on the publicist side of things, what actually got you into the industry?
Okay, so what got me into publication, I was already interviewing people, right? I was already around the sphere where people were getting professional photography after I styled them. So what got me into publication was, I was like, okay, if I'm already interviewing verbally and I got pictures, how I look at it is our generation, we've been understanding technology in a sense. So people want that syndication. People want their name around for a long period of time. So it was an internship, really, that I seen myself never going into, and I was a fashion reporter. So as a fashion reporter, I wrote articles on the shit that I was already doing. I'm interviewing, I'm styling, I got professional photography, I'm shaking hands with brands, I'm positioning people to be in front of these brands. Like, all of the stuff that I was doing was the same sense, just in a print version. And
so it was pretty much easy for you to go to that side as far as the print version.
Yes, in some aspects it's easy, but then it took me a minute to appreciate that I like writing, because I honestly hated it. I made it through school, I did. I did stuff. I did assignments, but to be honest, I just hated writing, because it's something you have to you gotta take yourself there and sit down and do it. Almost like planning, almost like writing in a journal. It's something that you just have to do. And I didn't want to do that until, I didn't want to do it until I did it. Now where I am, my 8 to 5, I'm a journalist where I'm writing articles, doing all the stuff I'm passionate about, just literally in a print version.
Exactly. And finished?
Yeah, my phone. So what's important to me about like publication and how I got there is that we got to understand everything we want to do starts with an idea. Every idea generates to a plan or some sort of movement. That movement led me to writing. So yeah, I'm gonna interview somebody, but before I interview them, I essentially got to write down notes. I essentially got to write down something.
Facts. Yeah.
And that's just kind of where it led to.
Definitely, I definitely agree. I also want to bring up the internship. So, what company was that exactly?
So that was the Garnett Report. It's based out of New York. I was a fashion reporter, and I covered many stories like Cardi B when she dropped her Reebok shoes, Megan Stallion. When she was on the cover of Essence. I tapped in with a couple of different brands, Hyde Park Good, so shout out to them. Who? Oh, I don't know what you mean. Oh yes, that was my second article I ever wrote. Shout out to bro, yeah. My mentor really put me on game, but So the first article I wrote was about Zendaya. It was cool, but the second one, I really wanted to tap in, like locally, the people around me. That's what I'm in Houston for, shaking hands with these people. So I wrote an article about Mona Leo, her video, her appearance, and also another Styles, Nia Lewis Styles. She doing her thing, and I wanted to just show that Nia Lewis, she went to PV too. Mona Leo, at some aspect, she was in a PV sphere too. So all of these different women around me, you know, we doing something. And if I have the ability to write it down and publish it and get it printed and let people see what's going on rather than just talking about it, let me do this and let me shine a light on other people who deserve it, other women, other black women who deserve it.
Big facts, man. And big shout out to you for that too as well, man. Also, as far as internships, could you explain, or I would say express, how important it is for internships?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked that, because I went to college, I understand the rope of an internship, but what I've broken down and realized over time, an internship is an experience. It's a teaching experience. And so, like, yes, I went through the Garnett Report as a fashion reporter, which led me in this publicist aspect, but for the aspect of journalism itself, like knowing how to prepare myself in an interview and knowing how to have the skill of a host, a public speaker, a PR, A&R, whatever role I want to tap into, it was IndustreetsTV, which was my other internship that like kind of led me and opened many doors for me, as I would say, like styling did. These other gigs that I got, these other lanes that I tapped into, because internships in itself, it's important because it's an experience. So whether you in college or not, whether you in trade school or not, or whether you hustling on it every day with your own business, it's important to get in those rooms where you can put yourself in experience again and again and again and again. And that's what IndustreetsTV was for me. IndustreetsTV was for me. That's what the Garnett Report was for me. Now I'm in a position to where I'm alumni from PV, and I'm still finding myself in internships, experiences where I can learn from other people. Hell, I go to work, and I see it as an internship, even though it's real life, but I'm seeing these opportunities as experiences and chances to grow and learn. So definitely, however y'all want to label it, whether it be an internship or something else, like go get around those people who gonna teach you, who's smarter than you, where you may feel the dumbest in the room, because at the end of the day, you there to take notes.
Exactly. You there to learn, you know. I mean, it's always good to forever be a student, you know, at the end of the day.
Oh, I'm glad that you said something about forever being a student, because I'm working on a nonprofit where, like, there's going to be a time in your life where you the student. There's going to be a time in your life where you the teacher. Like, our roles being reversed today. You teaching me some in a way.
I see what you're saying.
And I'm the student because I'm providing you answers to my questions. However, in life, you always a student and you always a teacher, and you can't never like live life without knowing that. So you got to get around them experiences.
Most definitely. And that's actually interesting because I actually have my own nonprofit. So with your nonprofit, is it established yet, or is it something that you're in the works with?
Yes, it's definitely in the works. So my nonprofit right now is the Student Teach Foundation, and it's the core of it is simply like, I always look at life as like we got a job to do, we got to help somebody. So like with my organization, I'm focusing on the youth. I'm focusing on black youth, youth of color, but it's not limited to just people of color. But this focuses on the youth, where adults and like-minded folks get to help these children, help them get to a place in the next chapter of their life, help them, give back to them, motivate them, inspire them, educate them, support them with resources and opportunities. I was at a point in my life where I needed that same type of help. And I had somebody come in my life again and again and again. So why can I do that for these kids who was once in a position like me, who probably seen their life as unconventional, didn't know if they was going to go to college, didn't know if, like, how to start a business. And now that I know some of the things that I know, let me just feed it back into the children. Let me just do that, because they are essentially the next, they the next generation. They need that.
I was going to say that exactly. And we're going to depend on them as we get older for them to, you know, continue our legacies or, you know, continue with the businesses.
Well, I wouldn't even say for me, right now it's not about a legacy. It's just putting that, dropping that 2 cents off on somebody else like somebody did for me. So, yeah, my nonprofit, it's in the works, and it's going to be an all-hands-on-deck project where I'm motivating them. Like I said, I'm inspiring them. I'm turning them up in real life. I want to let you know that I'm the bridge to whatever. I'm the bridge to your success, and not to just take credit for it, but it's a lot of people in my life, they're the bridge to my success. Like, they helped me get there.
Most definitely. I actually like that, too, because, you know, with my nonprofit, we pretty much built on the same standards. You know, mine is a 501c3 nonprofit, and it's built to win foundation. So, you know, we always have annual toy drives for the children every Christmas, and then we also give back to the homeless. So we do that, you know, we try to do that semi-annually or, you know, monthly, but it just depends on, you know, how the pandemic and everything is going. But the reason why I was bringing that up is because I definitely want you to, you know, establish your nonprofit and get that 501c3 status.
Yes, that's my goal. So we heading there. But shout out to you for everything that you got going in that aspect, because being that I'm a journalist and I love to, you know, highlight people, show their stories, being a journalist is also like being in that community, being involved, being engaged. And so I definitely want to be engaged in all areas where I can help it.
Most definitely, man. I definitely appreciate you too. I also want to go on the topic of TV personality, because you know, I see you tap into that field as well. So let's talk about it a little bit. What actually got you, you know, into TV?
Ooh, talking. I talk a lot. I talk a lot, and I always knew I was gonna do something in front of a camera. I always knew it was gonna be something involving talking. So what kind of led me there officially was that, you know how everybody in their family, they got like that one person who just got the mic. Just got the mic. I was that person in my family that just had the mic. And shout out to my family. I love them dearly because they allowed me to have my mic and allowed me to do me. And so it transcended. It grew with me every stage in my life. It just grew with me. At PV, it grew with me, where I found myself with PV AMU TV. Shout out to PV AMU TV.
Big shout out to PV.
Facts. That organization right there was a big part of my jump in my career, where I got behind the camera. And it went from me reporting stories to me like on the desk, just talking about music, talking about events, just talking about different things. I always placed myself in a position where I could interview, whether it was recorded recorded like visually or just verbally with a sound bite or something like that. I always put myself in position where I was around the camera. I was around people.
Always around it. You know,
I was in the spirit. I was in the atmosphere. So at PV is when I really took it a step forward, and I continued to build on my reel and you know, doing all of this different type of things. And then Larry Allen, my mentor, he came to me one day and just like, I guess he been peeping my movement. He peeped my movement and was letting me know like his plans and ideas he has with IndustreetsTV. And it took off from there. It opened up a whole nother bridge. I talked to people already. I interview in different places, sources. I care about news. I care about the community, really in the streets.
So would you say IndustreetsTV or PV kind of opened you up more?
Both. I have to say both. And like I'm so standing on, you know, PV produces productive people, because PV don't get the credit. If I ain't come to PV, I wouldn't have knew nothing about IndustreetsTV. I wouldn't help build Industries to where it is today. So both, you know, one taught me documentation is key, and showed me like a business system outside of black and white. And then the other taught me, get out there and do it, like regardless if that's what you're passionate about, do it regardless of the finances, do it regardless of just if you're passionate about something, you're gonna do it, and you're gonna find how you do it when you do it.
Correct, I agree. So with IndustreetsTV, how did that exactly come about, or how did you actually become a partner with them?
So IndustreetsTV came to me, I would say September or November of 2021. And it really was just a conversation. It was a meeting like, hey, this is what I got going. How do you feel like you could be a part of this? And so from that day, it was just one interview after the next, one event after the next, one coverage, one conversation after the next. And it took, kind of all hands on deck to maintain social media and put our content out there. Get videos edited and uploaded to YouTube, Oh, I'm so glad that you asked me this question, because I just recently watched Kanye's documentary on Netflix, and I'm still in the early episodes, episode 1, but essentially that's what IndustreetsTV was doing, and I was a part of that, and I was able to build it from the ground up. Right. So when we had 0 followers to 2,000 followers, till we had no subscribers to thousands of subscribers, thousands of views. And in the beginning, it was hard. Like, nobody was paying attention to the smallest blog. And we're not a blog, we're a network. We're global with it. But nobody is going to pay attention to you when they don't know you. But when they see that consistency, when they see that drive, that passion, see you in every room and opportunity, they know they can't miss you. You might as well tap in with me.
Correct. And like I said, it's always about the consistency, too. And big shout out to y'all team, because, IndustreetsTV as a whole, you see you on Instagram, on YouTube constantly, every day you see a new post.
Facts.
And you have some, platforms where they're not, not staying as consistent, or, not uploading as much. So big shout out to y'all team.
Shout out to the team. Shout out to everybody involved. Shout out to LA. Y'all go tap in with them. Like, tap in with everybody with IndustreetsTV, because like I said, we're global. We really pushing the pack. Like, we pushing the video elements. We pushing everything that you want. Like, IndustreetsTV, I'm forever be home. That's gonna forever be one of my homes, because it grew me in the beginning of my career and still is. Like, people know that I'm attached to IndustreetsTV. They want to know what else I got going on.
Exactly. And from this interview, they're gonna find out. They're gonna see everything that comes beyond you. I actually want to get into modeling, because I see you have these posts. So would you say that you tap into the modeling side of things, or is that just something that you just as a hobby, I would say.
Man, so how modeling came about, you really just did your research and I like that. So where modeling came about, it was introduced to me at like 4 years old. So my godmother,
4 years old. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I wish I had a picture right now. But my godmother, she asked us, like, we wanted to model, and it was like for bells and down runways at first. So little black girls playing in they little sandals from the dollar store, they look click clack click clack. It was that at first, until one day we took it down the runway and we were modeling. I was my first runway. I was Serena Williams. Not just playing, but shout out, I ain't know who Serena Williams was, but my outfit, I was a little tennis girl. I was a black girl with a black girl with my rack, with my little visor, with my skirt. And so that was just that little period, that little phase. But then, what I would say, 2020, in 2020, I walked and modeled with the Model Experience, and that was dope. That experience, that experience was dope. It taught me that, like, girl, you in this lane, you been in this lane, so figure out how you gonna be in this lane. And at that runway, I worked directly with Rio Summers, who was handpicked by what's her name? Tyra Banks. And I worked with La'Myia Good, Megan Good's sister. And at that moment, I knew, like, I'm called to be in these spheres, these spaces. And what's funny about that experience, when I was modeling, this is how I'll be a stylist. So at that event, I had pre-packed some fly-ass shit just because I'm coming from Texas. Y'all not gonna ask me to model without bringing fly shit. So I brought some fly clothes, and when I went in to meet my designer and her collection, I was a little startled because I seen Forever 21 tags. I was startled.
Okay, so you didn't expect to see that. You
No.
okay.
So I didn't expect it. So when she showed me what my outfit was, I was like, nah, that's not what my outfit is. And I was like going back and forth with her where I wasn't, not to say I wasn't supposed to do that, but it's just like, I'm going to let you know I flew from Texas. I came out here. I'm the shortest out of everybody. I got to make a statement when I come wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing. So she ended up allowing me to it was a collaboration where we pieced pieces together. We pieced different items together, and that started a whole lot of controversy after the show. But essentially, I put my outfit together. And in that experience, while I was done running, when I was done with the runway, another brand, they peeped me making sure all the models that was in my group, they peeped me making sure everybody was together, that they was feeling their fits, that they were comfortable in their skin and everything like that. So another designer reached out to me and was like, hey, I have an outfit for you. And I was looking like Cookie Lines. I had the big coat on, suede fit. It was dope. Yeah. She was like, hey, you want to wear my clothes down the runway? I was like, for sure. She was like, take a look at my line. She was like, let me know what you feel comfortable in. So I looked at her line, and the girls that I modeled with the first time, they peeped that I had went over here in this dope ass outfit. So they came straggling behind me. So after they came behind me, we had already walked. Yeah. No, I'm lying, we didn't walk. But they came running behind me to where they ended up trying her clothes on too. So it looked like we had abandoned our original designer. And La'Myia Good came to me, and she was like, she came to me and was like, hey, I understand that another designer asked you to wear their clothes, but let's just walk down the runway first in this outfit, and then if it's time after that, you do that then, because we don't want to put traffic and everything. So after I walked, which was the dopest experience of my life, pretty cool. After I walked, I then came back to that designer, and we had a whole conversation. I was about to buy some of her pieces right then and there. Yeah. But I brought that up to say that I knew I was a stylist because I was making everybody feel comfortable in their clothing. I was making sure the outfits complimented other people. And I started with me, but then I started with somebody else. Somebody else peeped what I was doing, and they asked me to do the same thing for their brand. Yeah. And that was in 2020, I believe. I really can't remember, but from that show, I knew I'm a stylist.
So I mean, what's crazy is the fact that you was helping other people with their styles while you actually supposed to be modeling. So you pretty much doing two jobs in one at the same time. So that's actually great. And then also, how was it or how was the experience working with La'Myia Good in Rio Summers?
Man, it was a dope experience. It was dope because I just would never see myself working with those folks. People look at me like an underdog. Sometimes I feel like I'm the underdog because I'm at the beginning. Yeah. It was just a dope experience. It showed me that every time I come around like-minded people, I come around people in the industry, I come around people who has something to offer to me. And so I learned from that moment. I took it in, and now I can forever call on these people if I need to.
Fact. That's a fact. So do you still have a relationship with either of the two?
So Rio Summers and La'Myia, I don't talk to them like that, but I'm pretty sure if I was to reach out to them, they would know exactly who I am.
Most definitely. That's actually, like I said, that was actually dope that you got to work, alongside them, and you actually got the experience. Another question I actually had though is, what transpired or affected you? I would say from modeling between the age of 4 and then fast forward to 2020.
Right, because that's a huge gap. So it was just kind of like life, I was going through adolescence, going through my teen years, and all of this and such, and I was always somebody who was behind the camera, always. I would set up my own photo shoots. I would, that's something that I like to do. I feel like I'm in my element when I'm, taking pictures and doing that type of stuff. So
You kind of feeling yourself. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I feel you.
So over time, I had my own little photo shoot set up, and that was just like birthday shoots or shoots of whatever. But then the model experience reached out to me on Instagram, and honestly, when they first reached out to me, I thought it was like a fake page or something. I didn't know what it was, so I had to go do my research. I looked up stuff on YouTube. I actually reached out to somebody who was a part of the model experience, and I was like, "Is this real?" And they were like, "Yes, this is a real thing." So,
okay, that's what's up, man.
So the model experience is an opportunity to have never seen before people come model, like people with no experience to it. You got experience, no experience.
Still coming
all
together.
in between. Okay. And so they reached out to me on Instagram and asked me to model for them. It took, you had to sell like 10 tickets. Okay. And each ticket was probably like, I would say like $50 to $100, something like that. Don't remember. But once I really committed to doing it and said, okay, I'm gonna do it. My family like stood behind me. Everybody who supported me stood behind me, and like my tickets was sold within like a week.
Like, well, see, I mean, that right there shows you know how much support you have behind you.
Facts. Like it was sold within a week, and I went out there and did my thing. So.
Man, that's what's up. Congratulations to you as well for that too.
Appreciate you.
Like I say, you I wouldn't say you all over the place because you're not all over the place. You grinding, but you in a few different avenues, and they all linked together, which is still a good thing.
Yeah, some days I be having my days where I don't understand how it takes place. I don't understand how how it all just evolves, but I do see that I'm in the sphere of modeling, I'm in the sphere of styling, I'm in the sphere of journalism, interviewing folks, I'm in the sphere of the music industry, and I don't really have too much knowledge in that area, but I'm in all of these spheres that kind of tie together and coincide.
Exactly.
So I gotta figure that multiple streams of income. You hear me?
Right.
You got to have multiple streams of income. That's just how you gonna make it.
No, definitely. Also, I want to piggyback on your styling company. Can we talk about the name and how that came about?
Yeah, so Zayangelita Styles is me, is everything. Like, let me show you how to shirt again. This was the campaign tee for dropping Zayangelita Styles. The day that I officially made my website, I said I'm gonna drop a campaign tee just to see what kind of reactions I'm gonna get out of it.
Okay, so that was really just to see the reactions and things.
Okay. So when I made my website, it was just to tap in on the more professional side of it. I already had contracts. I already had invoices that I was sending out, but now it's time to let it stay around digitally. And like I was saying earlier with the what was I talking about? The publishing. Yeah. The syndications on that is the same aspect that I was thinking of a website. I was like, how can people know who I am without having a website? Yes, many of our people our age go to Instagram, but if I want to ever reach a different type of demographic or climate and target to a variety of people, I need a website. Right. So I made a website and I named it Zayangelita Styles. Well, that's what I named my styling company when I first came out. So to break it down, Zay is what a lot of people picked up on when hearing who I am. ZaNaria comes from my first name. And then Angelita is my middle name, so I kind of merged the two together. So it was really me, Zayangelita Styles. This is who she is, Zayangelita. My IG handle, y'all go tap in with me. IG handle is Zayangelita. So my styling business became Zayangelita Styles. This is what she's doing.
That's what's up, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
I want to pick back up on just the website, because we did mention the website, and I actually wanted to ask you what caused you or actually made you start a website.
What made me start my website was the people that I was working with. Like I said, it was time for me to turn my professionalism up. I worked with many people. Bob Breezy, like I said, who was one of the first. Covey, shout out to her. In the music industry, it was people in the industry reaching out to me to work with me. So it's like, I got to show that I'm professional on all levels. And these people worked with me because they knew I was upcoming, but they knew she got her ducks in order.
Right. Okay. I agree. I see what you're saying. And also, just on the music side of things, we done tapped into the fashion industry, publication. So let's get into the music side of things, because like you said, you interview as well. So you did get an interview with Young Al. I want to talk about that that relationship exactly and how that came about.
Yeah, so shout out to Young Al. Y'all go tap in with your boy. He is one of my biggest supporters. When it came down to me like styling him, it's really how we met. I took him some clothes and had to work with him and see, okay, that's what he like. After that door opened, I was like, Young Al, you know, let's tap in for an interview. And the type of individual he is, he really like down to earth. So he was down for whatever. So it turned into me interviewing him. We met up at Sugar Hill, and what was dope about him is that I think he was asleep or something, or he forgot that we were finna meet up, and he was like, hey, my fault. Like, he sincerely showed that, like, I take you serious on whatever level you on, and from that little experience, I knew, like, I'm a lock in with him, and we good, because he sincerely showed that I know where I am, I know where you at, and, you know, that happened like that. But so, Young Al, we had an interview, and it was dope. Like, I jammed him. He was somebody that I knew about, you know, on the songs on YouTube. But when we actually got to fluently talking, it was a cool experience. And our relationship's still growing. We still tapped in. He's somebody that I can call if I have an idea. I want him to do this for the kids, or like if I want another interview, I support him. He support me right back.
For sure. Man, that's what's up. So what other I would say known artists have you worked with that's in the music industry?
Man, crazy, because I have found myself in positions when I may not even know who you are at the point, and then I may come back to you and know who you are later, or like I always try to have my research before getting in rooms, but it's some instances where you just walk in, like Guapo himself. I was in the studio with him at Sugar Hill when he was making Mr. Put It On, and I didn't even know. Like, I knew that was Guapo himself, and I was still learning the ropes of everything, but I didn't even know, like, that was the song that was getting produced right there in that moment.
The song was actually, it got a few million now on YouTube.
Yeah, Guapo doing his thing. And then there's some other artists I work with locally. Jackboy 2 Times. He's from Jackboy from Alabama, and he was one of the persons that, like, each interview I get into, it get better and better and better.
Definitely.
And so, like, I learned a little bit about his music career, opened the door for Alabama artists, Big Yavo. I believe that they were all in the same sphere, like same studio and such. And so I interviewed him. Who else I interviewed? Shout out to Nat, Diamond Girl Nat. I worked with them. I worked with Diamond Girl Vita, and being in Johnny Dang's shop and in his sphere, people started to get familiar with my face. So I ended up meeting Mike Mills. Shout out to the closet. Y'all go shop at the closet. In real life, shop at the closet. But so I ended up interviewing Mike Mills at the top of the jewelry store.
Okay, I know you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, so I interviewed him, and I just highlighted the clothes aspect. I was, trying to figure out my lane in this fashion and this journalism. So I put it together, got an interview, and that was one of the dopest interviews because Sauce himself interrupted, and he got in there and he, started talking woo woo woo. But it's many instances where I've been around folks, and I just took off and did my own leg work in the room, whether if we were actually recording, it just took off. Like, I worked with Big Pokey before, one of my biggest, I would think he one of my biggest artists that I work with, because it's Screwed Up Clique, like the whole Screwed Up Clique. He a legend. Sure, he a legend. Like,
really, man.
That was the dopest interview I had with him, because he told me just keep on working, like, keep on being consistent.
Big shout out to Big Pokey too, man. The Screwed Up Clique.
Man, shout out to the whole Screwed Up Clique. Shout out to Big Pokey. He was just Big Pokey, like a big in a way.
Definitely. Yeah, I've actually had the chance to meet him a few times. I've been to his house. I'll say he's actually a real cool guy.
He down to earth too.
Definitely, man. Talking about public speaking, we want to get into this side of things now. How did you, get into the public speaking side? Because, like I said, everything is kind of tied into each other. So, how, or where did the public speaking come from?
So, me just talking, doing interviews, that was that. Me modeling, that was that. But it was when I really wanted to, like, put myself in position in a different type of way. I have to figure out how to break in. I have to figure out how to break in, and so I'm going to do it however I can. So, one day, my godmama, shout out to my Yuri, y'all go tap in with her too. She was hosting a Boss Brunch event, and like, she's somebody I confide in. I'ma tell her, like, I'm inspired by her, and I'm pretty sure, like, she see everything that I got going. So I told her, I was like, I want to host this, and the third. I want to just be the MC for this, and the third. So she was like, you hosting Boss Brunch? I was like, bet. So I hosted that for the first time in my city in Waco, and it was about 50 people there, and the flow was so organic that I was able to keep the people energized. I kept them in tune with the conversation. I introduced speakers. I was moderating that whole event, and that public speaking event, it just showed me, like, I got this in the bag when it comes to, like, moderating rooms, working a room.
So my question would be then, because like you say, you usually on the other side behind the camera. So, one, was 50 people the most people you've spoken in front of before?
Yes and no. Yes, and I say yes because that was very intimate, where they were paying attention to me. I had to keep them focused and engaged because I'm the sole speaker. It's different when you a speaker versus when you got the mic just for a split second. Right. And so I was at Screwed Up Clicks one day, and I interviewed Ronetta Spencer, the original Bar Baby. I interviewed her, and I had the mic in my hand. And shout out to Broadcast Houston. Shout out to them because they global. They around the city, but they global too. And I was speaking to her, interviewing her, chopping it up with her, and it was a big crowd in there. And I wasn't nervous or anything because that's what I do. However, when you go back to, like, public speaking, it's who you got to touch people one at a time. You got to look them in their eyes. You got to let them know, like, you're my audience, but you're also, like, a sister I'm talking to.
Right. So, were you nervous getting up there, and with that being, your first speaking event?
Man, was I nervous? Yes, I was. Like, normally when I do anything involving me speaking or I try to stay prepared. I try to do my research. I try to, position myself before it's time. Practice in the mirror or, like, talk to myself. Shout out to Zayangelita. Just, like, do a little run through with myself. So, in that instance, I kind of procrastinated in that instance. I knew that event was coming up 3 weeks in advance. Yeah. And it wasn't until that car ride to Waco, from Arlington to Waco, was like 45 minutes that I actually sat down and prepared.
Okay, got you.
So I kind of was talking to myself, no music, but it was like, okay, you tapped in with ZaNaria Bowens. This is what we're doing today. I kind of ran through my idea of what that was going to be like. And the event was real good. Like, after that, I ended up, somebody asked me to host something for them and be a part of their projects and what they got going on.
Just open up more opportunities again.
So yes, I was nervous, but being that I was in my own city, this is what I wake up and breathe to do. After I, like, started talking, it was just like, what's the jitters for? Like,
right. And see, that's the reason why I asked, were you nervous? Because, you do a lot of talking. You already, interviewing people and helping people with fashion and design. So I'm like, if you're already comfortable speaking to people, I wasn't sure if you'll be comfortable speaking in front of a group of people. Man,
I see myself speaking to thousands of crowds.
And you can definitely do it, for sure. Also, like you say, so you did the public speaking event, and then now you also have, something else you do on the side where it's chopping up with ZaNaria Bowens, right?
Yes, okay. Shout out to you.
Shout out. So let's talk about it a little bit, so is that more so like a podcast or just...
So it's going in a whole lot of different avenues. Right now, I'm utilizing social media to the best of my advantages, being that all the other projects I got going on. But on Instagram, chopping it up with ZaNaria Bowens is me giving individuals the opportunity, myself, the opportunity to speak with people, to have a few words, just a few moments of their time to talk to them, allow other people to come into this sphere. So as a creative, me, openly, publicly speaking, I'm allowing other people to, like, intertwine in this aspect. So I'm speaking to, last week I spoke to a reporter, Jordan Foster, shout out to PV alumni, I spoke to him. Next week I'm speaking to Taylor Draper. He has his own, he's the CEO of a luxury suit company.
Okay.
And so these individuals that I speak to, sometimes it may just be me highlighting their brand, highlighting their career, highlighting their creativity. Other times it's a seed that I'm planting for further projects, further events to take place, hopefully.
Most definitely. Okay, I got you. So my next question would be, what some advice would you give to someone, you know, that's looking to be in your shoes but don't know where to start, you know?
Man, I think that's a wonderful question. So what I would say is stay down, stay focused, and like always work to beat the odds. Like always beat the odds. Like my life is so unconventional. My life's so unconventional for the things that I want in life, for the things that I'm doing in life, from the background, my childhood trauma. Like my life just so unconventional that like I'm really doing everything that I want to do. And another thing, just stay patient. Be consistent and stay patient. It's going to take off. The people going to see you. I was at a point to where I was reaching out to everybody. Now people reaching out to me like, hey, I want to interview. Hey, can you style me? Hey, can you write this article about me? Hey, can you just be here? So stay down in real life.
Most definitely, man. I like that advice too. So, so you know, you meet your 18-year-old self, okay? Mm-hmm. If you can meet your 18-year-old self and tell yourself 3 words, what would it be?
It would be like words for the future.
Yeah.
Or at that time.
It's just more so words of advice. So like you now seeing your 18-year-old self, like I said from the past, if you was able to see your 18-year-old self and tell yourself 3 words, what would it be? So
it would be work hard, beat the odds, and move with grace. Move with grace. I got that big, like I wake up, like I got alarm clocks. Even when the alarm clock's not on, I'm jumping out my sleep. I'm so anxious about where I want to be and what I got going on and what's like, I'm just anxious that I'm learning to like move with grace. And that's why I said stay down. Shout out to Stay Down Productions. That was also, they a big blog in the city and they global too. They were, Mookie was one of the first persons that like just taught me like, stay down, it's gonna happen. Right. You gonna be so many odds, you're gonna come to so many different obstacles. It's gonna take a minute to build something up. And that's what I learned. Stay Down Production. Shout out to them.
Nah, big shout out, man. So could you tell, the viewers and your supporters one message that you would like to tell them, or, something that you would like them to know?
Facts. So what I would advise anybody, watching me, TreMarkelTV, is to always uplift the next person. Like help your counterpartners, your sisters and brothers. Like stay involved, stay inspired. Like inspire and stay inspired. I always say that. Inspire and stay inspired. That was my biggest motives and what keep me going. Stay inspired and inspire somebody. Because what you doing if you can't give back? What you doing if you... It's 2 ways of looking at it. Yeah, you got the crabs in the bucket. You got the one at the bottom, the one at the top. You may feel like somebody pulling you down, but at the same time, you got to be... If you the crab at the top, help that crab at the bottom. Like, we all here. We all, like, coexisting with each other. So stay inspired and inspire somebody.
Definitely, man. Like you said, always lend a helping hand, if you can. So what is the best way to contact you, or how should someone go about contacting you? Whether it might be for inquiries regarding fashion, or maybe they just want to reach out and maybe interview you.
So the best way to reach me is you can reach me on social media. I'm somebody who respond back, so you can reach me on Instagram, Zayangelita. You can reach me via really on all social medias. Tap in with me, or Zayangelita Styles. Hit me through IndustreetsTV. If y'all got a request for me, it ain't hard to get to me. Like, I do my own leg work, do y'all leg work, and figure out how to get to me. Like, it ain't hard to reach me.
No, big fast, man. Well, we definitely appreciate you for giving us your time and coming out today. We're going to definitely tap back in with another interview.
Facts. I'm interviewing you next time, so I'm going to be sitting in your chair. We going to
for sure, yeah, we're gonna
cross promote. We're going to do all that.
Definitely. We're going to get it in, man. I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, again, shout out to TreMarkelTV. Y'all tap in. Follow me on all the social platforms. Follow IndustreetsTV. Everybody that I shouted out, I hope y'all do y'all research and tap into them people, because them was the people who put me on.